Hey, welcome. Today we're going to talk about something that sounds almost too simple to be true. How making tiny, almost invisible changes in your day-to-day life can lead to, well, absolutely life-changing results. So let's start with a question I think we've all asked ourselves. Why is it that every single year we set these massive, ambitious goals for ourselves on January 1st, but by the time February rolls around, they're pretty much ancient history? What is going on there? Well, here's the thing. The problem is that we try to do way too much, way too fast. We try to overhaul our entire lives overnight, which is kind of like trying to lift a mountain. I mean, it's a nice thought, but it's just not going to happen. And we usually just end up getting crushed by the weight of our own ambition. And this pushes us right into what you could call the all-or-nothing trap. But listen, the way out of this trap isn't about having more willpower or trying an even crazier transformation. Nope, it's a completely different way of thinking. And that different approach is called the Theory of Marginal Gains. It's a really simple but incredibly powerful idea. All it says is forget about the giant leaps. Just focus on making tiny 1% improvements over and over again. The goal isn't perfection. It's just to be a tiny bit better today than you were yesterday. So what does getting just 1% better every day actually add up to? This is where it gets really, really cool, because the answer is not what you'd expect. Let's actually look at the math here. You know, most of us think progress is a straight line. We figure if we put in a little effort each day, we'll see little steady results. But that's just not how it works. In reality, all those small gains start to compound on each other, and that leads to this incredible, explosive, exponential growth down the line. So check out this formula. If you start out as a 1 and you just improve by 1 single percent, that's multiplying by 1.01, every single day for 1 year, what do you think the result is? The answer is just mind-blowing. You don't get 365% better. Because of that power of compounding, you end up almost 38 times better than where you started. That right there is the insane, almost magical power of tiny, consistent effort. But, and this is so important, it works both ways. If you get just 1% worse each day, maybe you skip your workout or make a poor choice, that effect is just as powerful in the other direction. You basically decline all the way down to 0. So these little daily choices, they have huge consequences. And this chart just shows you the difference so clearly. At the very beginning, you can barely tell the difference between getting a little better or a little worse. But you let that play out for a year, and that tiny gap becomes this massive, massive chasm. The two paths could not be more different. Okay, so this all sounds amazing, but it brings up a really big question. If it's so powerful, why is it so hard to stick with? Why do we give up? Well, it's usually because we quit before that compounding magic really starts to kick in. We give up while we're stuck on what's called the plateau of potential. This right here is the whole key to understanding why we quit. In those early days and weeks, it feels like our hard work isn't doing anything. We see no results. It feels totally wasted. But the truth is, it's not wasted at all. It's actually being stored up for breakthrough that's coming later. Think about it like this, an ice cube analogy. Imagine you have an ice cube in a room that's 28 degrees. You start to slowly raise the temperature. 29 degrees, nothing happens. 30 degrees, still just an ice cube. 31 degrees, still nothing. You're putting in all this work to heat the room and it feels like you're getting absolutely nowhere. You feel like you're just wasting your time. But then you hit 32 degrees and all of a sudden, bam, the breakthrough. The ice starts to melt. That one little degree unleashes all the change that was stored up from all the previous work. And that frustrating period, it has a name. It's the plateau of latent potential. It's that valley of disappointment where you are making progress, you just can't see it yet. That final breakthrough isn't some sudden miracle. It's the payoff for all the consistent effort that came before it. All right, so we get the theory, we know the challenges, but how do we actually do this? What's the practical first step? Well, the secret is to start with something so small, so easy, that it's basically impossible to fail. So instead of a massive goal like reading a book a week, just make your goal to read 1 page. That's it. Anyone can read 1 page, right? The point isn't to finish the book overnight. The point is to start becoming the type of person who reads every single day. Or maybe you have a fitness goal that feels totally overwhelming. Don't even think about the marathon. Don't even think about the workout. Just make your goal to put on your shoes and walk to the end of the driveway. You're just mastering the art of showing up. Once you do that, progress is going to happen. Now this one might sound silly, but it is absolutely brilliant.
You want to build a flossing habit? Don't commit to a perfect job. Just commit to flossing one tooth tonight. The action itself is almost irrelevant. What matters is that you're casting a vote for the habit. You're making it so easy that you can't say no.
And that idea of casting a vote, that brings us to the real reason this stuff is so powerful. This is the deepest level. It's not just about getting results. It's about changing who you are. See, every single action you take is like casting a vote for the type of person you want to become. When you meditate for just 1 minute, you're casting a vote for, I am a calm person. When you read that one page, you cast a vote for, I am a reader. These tiny wins are pieces of evidence that start to build and reshape how you see yourself.
So in the end, the lesson is pretty simple. Consistency always wins against intensity. You know the story. The hare goes out in a big, impressive burst, but it's not sustainable. It's the tortoise, with its slow, steady, daily progress, who ends up winning the race. That's who builds the identity of someone who actually finishes.
So, as we wrap up, I'll just leave you with this one question. Forget about those huge mountain-sized goals for a second. Just think, what is one tiny, ridiculously small 1% action you can take today to cast a vote for the person you really want to become?